What's up, guys? My name is DJ GhostNotes, and this week I'm bringing my top 5 digs of the week of tracks that I've downloaded. And I find a lot of music through Bandcamp. It's a dope site. So let's get into it. The first track that I've selected, and this is just tracks that I found this week, so they're not necessarily the best tracks that I've found, period. They're just tracks that I've dug up this week. The first one is Sex Machina, which is a cover of James Brown's Sex Machine by Juan Leia and George Montiel, and it's on a record called Electropical Part 3, which is dope. It's Venezuelan producers out of London. In fact, the entire album's pretty cool. I've grabbed a few songs off that album. I thought I'd just play this one because it's fun. Afro-Latin vibes, funky drums, cool horns, great production. Let's have a listen. Okay, cool. So the second track that I found this week is by a hip-hop producer out of Germany called Suff Daddy. His stuff's just cool. It's just funky. He uses a lot of hip-hop samples in his production, and I think I discovered him in about 2012 or something, just kind of slowly buying tracks of his for a while. This particular track is off his album Basically Sober, which came out in 22 this year. It's just funky, you know. Like, if you haven't heard of Suff Daddy, he's from Berlin. I think he worked with Adidas on a few tracks, and he's worked with people like Guilty Simpson, Taku, Fat Cat. If you want to check out some of his other dope tunes, Kill Bill, Drinks, Make It Drip, he's got tons of just cool records. Anyway, let's check this one out. It's called Jean-Baptiste Emmanuel Suff.
So steady.
Cool, it's a bit of a bouncer, that one. So track 3 is by Ghanaian musicians working out of London again, and like I always say that London is the centre of the universe in terms of music, and it's because it's such a melting pot of different cultures and influences. So when you talk about UK sound, it's Afro, it's Latino, it's UK, it's American, you know, it draws influence from France, Germany. It's just an amazing mecca of music. This is a good example. It's African artists working within the UK, working with UK artists. There's a guy called Wonky Logic that works on this track. He does a lot of the synths and things like that. The track kind of reminds me of a Sampa the Great kind of sound. It's a bubbly, kind of hip-hoppy, Afro-influenced Nubian beats, future beats, whatever you want to call it. It's kind of just Afro jazz, really. The track's called Free Up. The group's called Onipa. Let's check it out.
Yeah, me switch up the vibe, limitless rhyme. Told me when me yuckin' like I don't know the time, like my watch was on slime. Watch she revive, limited the before, never had channel vice, still I had to be I. Paraglider fly, big bug I eat shit, ask why, ask him, ask guy. Do Tito, Tito Wamangele, he said most high, Abamansi, Danaga Danaga Sem, Danaga Mandu, Dalaga Mandu, Nada Onipa party, bread upon the khakis, still barefoot with the crease in my khakis, the enlightened darky, broad light and more light, and if you think he spit when he talk, then you're right. Seen Gene Mean play more polite, one without a choice, either fight or die, yai.
Okay, track 4, something a little bit different. This is called Sanjina, and it's by the Orchestra Regional de Case. The album is off the World Psychedelic Classics Volume 3, Love's a Real Thing, the funky, fuzzy sound of West Africa, which is on a label called Luweka Bop. Basically, the label's run by David Byrne from Talking Heads. It's a cool label. He has uncovered some dope music. He's put some really good musicians together for stuff, and this one's more of an uncovering of cool funkadelic African and psychedelic West African sounds. It's dope. This is probably one of the more chill tracks on that record, and the entire record's dope. I've bought maybe 6 or 7 of the tracks off the album, but I particularly like this one. It's just really flowing and calm and sort of musical and interesting, and I just thought it was dope. Okay, so my 5th and final track, I recently did a mixtape for the Oblivious Funk series. Shout outs to DJ Phibbs. So that mixtape was number 77 in the list of artists being featured. I chose to be number 77 so that I could pick songs from 1977. So the entire mix was all tracks from 1977, which was just a cool year for music, cool year for movies, and you know, Star Wars came out, Elvis Presley died. A lot of things happened in 77. There were riots in New York. It was a year things were changing. Funk was turning into disco and boogie, and there was this cool movement happening. So I discovered this track. It's by Grupo Los Yoyi. The track's called El Fino. It's on the funk beats of Revolutionary Cuba Part 1. It's Afro-Cuban psychedelic disco funk. It kind of starts really chill and flowing, and it goes into these cool horns and stuff, and it's a sort of track that just grows on you over time. So let's have a listen. Cool. So that's my top 5 picks for this week. If you enjoy the series, don't forget to share it. And obviously I'm open for feedback. Apologies again if I'm mispronouncing some of the names of these artists and tracks. I'm doing my best. Some of them I can't find any information about. It's really difficult. And that's kind of the cool thing about a lot of this stuff. It's almost was undiscovered until artists and musicians and producers like David Byrne pull them out and let us kind of rediscover them, particularly in the Western world. And as always, I'll see you soon. Peace.